You see, Jesus changes lives from the inside out. We would love for you to join us at Covenant Church, located at 1124 Brinkley Ave, right here in Murfreesboro. We have services Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. and Tuesdays at 7 p.m. You can learn more about us at our Cornell Ministries YouTube channel. We want you to grow in Christ at Covenant Church.
Two powerful FM signals, one AM signal, and online at WGNSradio.com means that you can listen to us anywhere. AM, FM, online. Rutherford Issues with Brian Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSradio.com.
Rutherford Issues, powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Their Pro Solar program is committed to educating members on the process and helping them achieve their renewable energy goals. Learn more about Pro Solar and a free consultation at mte.com/prosolar. Major Michael Knott joining us from the Salvation Army. And, boy, we were just catching up, and summertime, you barely have been able to take a breath, it seems, Major.
Yes, lots of things going on. When kids are out of school, you want to make sure to have activities for them to do. So we have been able to take a charter bus of kids to camp this summer to spend a week out at our camp at Lake Day Hollow. And then we've also been able to, those that after a certain age, like 12 and over, they're not able to go. So they've created a camp called Teen Camp. So we were able to take a group to Teen Camp so they can experience a week.
So was it at the same place?
At the same place.
Okay.
Just a different time. It was at the end of July where it was hot.
I'll bet.
Well, it was hot all summer. It's still hot now, but it's nice outside. So.
Yeah. So camps have been growing in terms of those that you've been able to send over the years, I think, hasn't it?
Yes, I think it's just an opportunity for the parents to have some time that they can have their me time, and then as well the kids an opportunity to make new friends, connect with new friends, because they're from the same community that they may go to school together, they may not, but it's an opportunity to kind of just learn what Mother Nature has to offer. It's just a beautiful place out there at the lake that they get to do things that they may not be able to do here.
Yeah, I mean, probably a lot of people listening have had some type of camp experience, when they were a kid, and it's a very impactful time, and I'm sure they get to hear the good news as well.
Yeah, yes, the good news, share the message, and then we try to stay in touch with all the parents of upcoming events, which leads into our Vacation Bible School that most everybody does church-wise. We do that as well, and then we did our back-to-school event before school started and gave out backpacks. I think we did 250.
Oh, wow.
And then we're able to just connect and give them a calendar of upcoming events that we have throughout the season that they may have an opportunity to come and be a part of. Not just the kids, but also the parents as well.
Sure.
So trying to engage the whole family as itself. The kids having events, but also trying to connect with the parents as well.
You obviously you knew what type of need there was for backpacks and school supplies and things of that nature. I mean, that's a lot of backpacks. So.
Yeah, we did that, and then we had extra resources that we were able to that were provided, that if they needed extra supplies other than what was in the backpack, they were able to take that as well. So.
Well, that's awesome. So, got them all back into school. I've known about the work of the Salvation Army for a long time, and you said something about working to the whatever challenges surrounding the whole family, whatever those are, parents and the kids and all of that. That's been kind of a focus for you all, hasn't it? Just to make sure you meet the needs of the whole family.
Yeah, evaluating what we're doing, and then even in that, is this really working, and what other needs that we're not aware of, and trying to collaborate and find other ways that we can meet those needs, not just in what we offer for the family as a whole in the youth area, but as well as through our shelter or those needs that come in through our front door on a daily basis.
Major Michael Knott joining us from the local Salvation Army today. So busy summer translates into some things coming up in the fall, and I know we've got November and December to think about here as well. It just makes me wonder about opportunities for volunteers. I'm sure you have some needs, so can you share some of those with us?
Yes, volunteers. We have a website, and I can't recall it on my head, but I think it's murfreesboroSalvationArmy.org. You can go there. Opportunities to volunteer for our kitchen during feeding time. And then we have also opportunities that if you're needing some hours for college, opportunities for a receptionist. And then, it is Christmas for the Salvation Army because we're already gearing up and we know it's not here, but we're prepping for angel tree applications through the same system we've been doing. And that way that'll be announced. And we're actually still going through the schools. So the schools that want to participate in it, the counselors are the one that would do that to sign up for that this year. And again, getting the kettle stands and everything ready and reconnecting with all the volunteers. So
the website, SalvationArmyMurfreesboro.org, and then if you go /volunteer, there's a place for that. You mentioned helping with the daily meal. Are there some other things that you have needs for at this point?
Well, there's already we have a huge property, and it's challenging just to keep it up. But there's all kinds of just a 4-hour type group thing that they can come and help us move stuff around in the stores. That resources were coming. Opportunity to kind of evaluate our garden that we're doing. There's some mulch that needs to be replaced in the playgrounds that we have. There's potholes that we have in our driveway that need to be filled. It's just finding those resources that they're able to come and do that without taking the resources that we have to take care of the property, that we can use it to pay people's rent, utilities, and their need, and be able to purchase food for our food boxes. So we get food boxes out as well on Thursdays, but it doesn't mean we don't do it throughout the week. So if the need comes, we try to provide a food box for those that have a place to stay, but we've also provide that as well for the homeless. We provide them a backpack that has a glow on the back, so they're kind of identified if they're out in the dark.
So the volunteer opportunities, again, you can check those out on the website. You maybe mentioned the shelter itself and the work you're doing there. I know that since you've been you and the Mrs. Major have been here, been working to make that more of transitioning to from homelessness. And boy, we live in such an area that it's getting tougher and tougher, isn't it?
It is. They're challenging because when we came in 2020, there was some COVID money out there, but that's no longer. So trying to think out of the box and see how we can work with landlords and get them into places where what they're making is able to sustain them. But that's a work in progress. It's not going to accomplish overnight so we're making progress within 3 years, going on 4, that we've established some friendships and collaborations.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, it doesn't seem like we're actually adding to the numbers in terms of affordable housing options that are there either.
Right. Yep.
So that makes that obviously a challenge as well.
And we're very involved in the COC and that, so we're kind of at the table with the rest of them, talking through this and finding ways that we can work together collaboratively to meet the needs that come through our door and everybody else's door, that we're kind of just kind of tag teaming.
Sure. Now, what is the COC? Remind us of that.
It's a community continuum of care.
Okay.
It is where other agencies come to the table and we talk about what's the best way to handle the need that arises and talk through that and how can we tweak it. And then I think the biggest thing is we're talking about kind of a coordinated entry thing. If we're the only ones that do men's shelter, then if a man came to another agencies, then they would be referred over to the Army. If it's a family with children, we can accommodate, but if we're full, then they can go to Doors of Hope or Journey Home. If it's a mom with a child or in that situation where it's domestic violence, then that's the first. Everybody kind of gets them to those things. So kind of knowing, instead of just sending it all to one agency and then making them count, we can accommodate. So opening up more of the communication aspect of it.
That's important, isn't it? Because the more there's communication, the less there's repetition of services, and the quicker that help can be secured for someone.
And even the process, that it's the same no matter what agencies you go through. It's still the same process, same paperwork. It's not different in all different agencies. It's kind of collaborative, the same, so it's not confusing.
Mm-hmm. So. With the economy and with, you mentioned, COVID relief dollars, those kinds of things are going away. Are we finding that that more people are financially insecure and in those type situations more than maybe they were before? Or
I think it's a little bit of that, and I think it's also not wise choices. And so trying to alleviate that obstacle or barrier to where that's not an obstacle, that they can move forward. But yeah, I think I believe it is challenging for all of us. I mean, because you're just having to relook at your budget and make the decision that I can't do what I used to do, because life's not that way anymore.
Yeah, that's very true. I'm sure if you've looked at your grocery bill, you've noticed that it's not the same as it has been. Major Michael Knott joining us from the Salvation Army. You touched on Kettles and Angel Tree and how that's going. It's hard to believe that the hot, sweltering August heat, you're thinking about that. But I mean, there's a lot of planning that goes into pulling off those two big events.
Yeah, you have all that prep work, and you want to be ready, because your volunteers and all those that want to participate in those programs, you want to make sure that you have everything together. They just run smooth, and so we're doing the prep work and anticipating some increase in volunteers percentage and angel trees and volunteers, just to say, we have several opportunities. And if there's just some specific thing that you have a gift to do, and we can use volunteers 365 days out of the year.
Well, that's very good. Hopefully, folks listening out there, if you've got some hours to do, and again, those who are trying to meet requirements for school financial aid and things of that nature, there's a certain number of hours, and I guess you work with all of that too.
Yeah, if they don't know or can't get through the website, they can just call the office at 615-895-7071. Talk to Kimberly. She's kind of overseeing our volunteers, and that way we just kind of want to make sure we get make sure it's worth your effort and it's not confusing and there's too many volunteers. So we kind of coordinated on a calendar that what we can do to accommodate them.
We've been chatting here today with Major Michael Knott of the Salvation Army. And again, find out more on their website, salvationarmymurfreesboro.org.
This is CBS Rewind.